Morning, everybody, and welcome to what we hope will be the very final lockdown assembly ever, hopefully. We're really looking forward to welcoming you all back to school properly on Monday. But we wanted to take this opportunity to go through a few bits and pieces that would be really useful to know before you come back into the building. There's more detail, which we'll go through on Monday, but these are the things that you need to know before you return, because it's been a while. It's been a while for everybody, even those that have been in school over this time. We've followed a different regime, a different system, a different way of doing things. So it's important that we think about what we need to do when we return to what is more normal schooling. The most important thing about getting you back in is getting you back into classrooms in front of your teachers, and back learning in that way. We know there's been lots of successes with the home learning, and we want to try and bring some of those successes into regular classroom teaching as well. But there's lots of things about regular classroom teaching that we've missed, and regular classroom learning that you will have missed. And so it's really important that that's where we get you back in, and that's what we get you back doing. The very best way that we can support you with coming out of this lockdown is to have you in classrooms and learning. And so that's what we're going to be doing. There's going to be lots of things that are the same, things you'll remember, but there are a few differences as well. And those are the things that we need to talk about. So masks are at one and the same time something new and something that we're used to. We were wearing masks in school before Christmas. You were wearing them out on the corridors. We are now wearing masks everywhere in the building, in classrooms, on corridors, everywhere, and outdoors as well. If we're in queues with large groups of people, so getting into school at the start of the day, leaving at the end of the day, and certain points at social times, we will be expecting everybody to wear masks. That's all students and adults, unless they are exempt, with a letter having been sent to Mr. May explaining why a particular person would be exempt. The only time indoors you wouldn't wear a mask would be when you are eating. That would be messy. So you can take them off at that point, but only whilst you are eating. The rest of the time we expect masks to be worn. And all the students who've been in school throughout the lockdown period have been doing that. It hasn't been a problem. We've had 100% compliance on that, and we will expect that from everybody when you all return on Monday. Wearing masks for a longer period of time can mean they get a little bit damp from hot breath on them. So we recommend that you do bring more than one mask for each day. And there can be cloth masks, they can be the disposable masks. Bear in mind though that the disposable masks are not great for the environment. So if you have got multiple cloth masks, they would be the ones to bring, and they obviously need regular washing. And if you bring more than one for a day, that would be very useful. Something that will be different is the lateral flow testing, and many of you will have experienced that this week coming into school, and that will continue into the first week back. But after that, you will be given tests to do at home, and more information about both of those things will be given to you on Monday when you are back in school. But that is something that will be different for the first week or so. And then the tests will all be done at home rather than in school. Uniform hasn't changed really. A couple of bits to talk about. We expect all students in full uniform when they return on Monday. All the students who've been in school throughout the lockdown period have wore uniform throughout, so it's not a change. You wear school trousers or skirt with or without the logo, but they should be tailored black trousers, not jeans, not leggings, not tracksuit bottoms, etc. White shirt, school tie, blazer, and optional which we were allowing you to do before Christmas, is what would normally be a non-school uniform jumper. Plain black or dark blue jumpers to be worn under a blazer, not hoodies, please. And that is because we will have the windows open in school, and certainly until we get into the summer months, it will be still potentially quite cold in the building. So we will still allow people to wear those. But other than that, it is full uniform, please. Something that we are changing up until Easter, certainly, is that on the days that you have PE, you can come to school in your PE kit. This is to get around the issues of trying to get changed whilst wearing a mask. It just makes everybody's life that little bit easier. But it is only on the days when you have PE. So that'll be 2 days a week for year 7, year 8 and year 9, and 1 day a week for year 10 and year 11. We do recommend on those days that you bring a change of footwear. PE lessons for the most part will take place on the field, and you know what the school field can be like in terms of being muddy. So it'd be useful on the days you have PE if you bring a change of footwear. So you can pause the video at this point just to remind yourself of when your PE lessons are. Those are the days that you will be able to wear PE kit, depending on which year group and which year half you are in. It is only for core PE lessons. So although I've put on here the days when year 10 and year 11 have their GCSE and BTEC option subjects, those subjects will be doing theory work up until Easter rather than practical work. So it's only the days when you have core PE that you should be wearing that PE kit. Okay, start of the school day has not changed. So the school site is no entry to parent cars unless it's previously been arranged due to individual needs. So drop off is on Kirkedge Road, facing down the road and respecting the informal one-way system. If you are walking up the road, then that's fine. You can come straight into the pedestrian entrance. Those that have been dropped off will be supervised in crossing the entrance into school, and again, we'll use that pedestrian entrance. Once you get in there, or if you've been dropped off by buses, you'll be greeted in that area and then directed to where your year group is. So these areas have not changed from what they were previously. Year 7s will go down the steps next to the sports centre and go onto the amphitheatre area at the bottom of the hill. Year 8s go down the side by the minibus garage and onto the hard tennis court area at the back of PE. Year 9s walk along and go down the steps by the side of the hall, and then along the path at the edge of the field to the tennis courts by the pond. You should be wearing masks in these areas, please, even though we're outside. Year 10, go straight into the hall through the fire door, and year 11 up the outside steps and into the dining room. Again, masks in those areas, please, as you were before, of course, because it was indoors. At about 8:25, you'll be brought into the school building, so a reminder of which doors you will go through. Year 7 will come in through those field doors using the hand sanitizer that's there, make their way along the N-1 corridor to their form rooms. Year 8s will enter through the same door once the year 7s are in, but year 8s will then go up the stairs into the reception, turn back on themselves and go along the N0 corridor to their form rooms. Year 9s coming from the tennis courts through the back stairs at the bottom of the N-1 corridor, and then up those fire stairs all the way to the top to N1 to your form rooms. Again, there is hand sanitizer as you come in that door. Year 10 are in the hall, come out through the hall doors into the reception area, and then right to C0 or up the stairs back on yourself to the C1 corridor for your form bases. And year 11s from the dining room, turn left onto S1 or second left and up the stairs to get to S2. The school day hasn't changed, but just a reminder of the different parts of the day. So we've talked about where you go first thing in the morning. Those are the different areas, and then where you come in and go to form time. Straight after form time, 8:50 is period 1, which lasts an hour. Period 2 starts at 9:50. It's an hour and 10 minutes, and that lesson, if you remember, includes a 10-minute break, usually taken at the beginning or the end of that lesson at the teacher's discretion. But it is included in that period of time, and you will stay in classroom still for those break times. Lunch then is split by year group. So at 11 o'clock, year 7, year 8 and year 10 go to their period 3 lesson, while year 9 and year 11 have their lunch time. And if we remember, one year group goes to eat, first of all, the dining room for canteen food or the hall for sandwiches, whilst the other year group is outside at the tennis courts, and then they swap over. And we'll remind you of the way in which that's done once you're back in school on Monday. Year 8 and year 10 have a split lunch and lesson. So whilst the year 9s and year 11s finish lunch and then go to their period 3, the year 8 and year 10 lunch is midway through that split period, but the same structure: dining room first, then outside, or the other way round for the older year group, and then returning to the second half of period 3. Year 7s have their full period 3 lesson and then have lunchtime to themselves, all in the dining room and the hall, and then outside for the final 20 minutes. So 80-minute lesson, 40-minute lunch, but in a different order for each year group. We then all go to period 4 at 1 o'clock, which lasts an hour. We go to period 5 at 2 o'clock, which lasts an hour. And then at 3 o'clock, anybody who's not getting a bus goes straight out side. Those that are catching buses go to the areas where they were at the start of the day and wait to be dismissed for the buses, which will start to happen at around 3:05 onwards. If there is a fire alarm going off at any point, then year 7, year 8 and year 9, you would go to the PE tennis court, which is where year 8 go first thing in the morning. Year 10 and year 11 go to the PE AstroTurf and line up in form groups. We are not planning to have a fire drill in that first week, but you never know whether an alarm might go off, so you need to be aware of where you're going. Final thing then is, obviously many of you, the majority, have been learning at home over these last few weeks, and so regular school equipment has perhaps been moved to different places. These are the things that you need to have in your bag ready to bring into school on Monday. You need to have your planner, your handbook, pencil case with appropriate pens, black and blue for your writing and green for amending your work after feedback, pencils and rubbers, a glue stick for sticking sheets in, scientific calculator, and we also recommend some of those other items if you choose to have them. But the things on the left hand side are essential, and you need to bring those with you, please. You need to remember that that equipment is yours. Okay, it's personal equipment for you. It's not to be shared, and it's better if you've got your own rather than teachers having to lend stuff to you. So they are the things we feel you need to know before you come back on Monday. There are other things to talk about as well, which we will do on Monday morning in a little bit more detail. But the key things here are that the cleaning and health and safety rules that we have in place are absolutely vital, and everyone's got a role to play there. Wearing masks in all areas now is really, really important. But the reason we come to school, of course, is learning. And so all of those rules are there to support you being in school rather than having to be at home. Learning is vital. And the very best way we can support you in that recovery of learning and getting back into school is to have you in school and in classrooms. And if you can follow our instructions, ask if you're not sure. Remember that things are different for everybody, and that includes staff. If we can remember that and support one another and be kind, then we can be successful in school with our learning, and everyone can be safe as well. We're really looking forward to seeing you back, and hopefully that has reminded you of a few things ready for Monday, and we will see you then.